Student, today we are going to discuss all about basic maths which will be required in physics. Okay, so let's start with a very basic thing, that is angle measurement. So popularly we have two unit of angle measurement, okay, which we must know so that we can have a easy way to understand physics. Okay, so there are two units which are which are popular. One is degree, another is radian. Okay, so we must be aware of degree because in junior classes we have to go through a device called protractor through which we can measure angle. Okay, and in that particular thing we have the angle in degree usually. Okay, so I must say that these two units of angle are basically popular. There can be many other units of angle as well, so we are going to learn these two angles only because we need it while reading physics. Okay, so what is there that let's say that we have two society, one is society A, another is society B. In society A, people starts to say that when two lines are making a shape like this, that one is uh, perpendicular to the other, one is perpendicular to the other. Okay, perpendicular means neither tilting towards the left nor tilting towards the right. Okay, so in that situation, this perpendicular section, let's say society A saying that these two lines making an angle and that is 90 degree by society A, but by society B the same thing is being responded as pi by 2 radian. Okay, pi by 2 radian. So as we know, as we can see that both the societies are dictating the same thing, right? Not the different thing. So they must be equal to each other. Okay, so since because things is same and name is different and there is nothing great in this particular thing. Okay, so we must say that 90 degree is equals to pi by 2 radian. Okay, so from here I can say that 1 degree is equals to pi by 180 radian. Great. So we got a conversion factor between radian and degree, and that is this. Okay, so from now onwards we will use this to convert degree to radian and radian to degree. Okay, so for example, I'm saying that we have some example 30 degree, 45 degree, and let's say other examples like 60 degree, 90 degree, 0 degree, 180 degree, let's say 135 degree, and we have to convert them into radian form. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to multiply with pi by 180. So multiply 30 with pi by 180, this will simplify to pi by 6. Okay, and similarly we have 45 degree, so when you multiply with pi by 180 it will come out to be pi by 4 radian. Similarly this will be pi by 3, this will be pi by 2, this will be 0, this will be pi, this will be 3 pi by 4, and so on. And I hope you understood that what we done here, simply we multiply with pi by 180. Similarly, let's take some other example, like we have 3 pi by 4 radian. So there is no popular way to denote radian. If there is nothing written over there, you just assume that this is radian. Okay, 3 pi by 4, like I'm saying it is 2, and like let's say I'm saying it is, let's say it is 4 pi, and let's say it is pi by 2, and so on. So I want to convert these radians into degree, so I have to multiply these things with 180 by pi to get them into degree. So it will be simply pi will get cancelled out, and you can see it is coming to be 45. 45 into 3 is 135 degree. Similarly, this is nothing written there, and so we will consider it as in radian. So I must multiply with 180 by pi to get into degree, and the answer will be 360 by pi degree. Okay, similarly here we will have 4 pi, so multiply with 180 by pi and it will come out to be 4 pi into 180 by pi. Pi will get cancelled out and we will have 720 degree. And similarly this is pi by 2, when you multiply with 180 by pi we will get 90 degree. That's great. So from now onwards we must be familiar with these two units. Radian is more useful unit while studying science or physics. Okay, so both the things you must understand. Yeah, Now, one more thing which we can discuss, like which one is greater unit, degree or radian. So when you convert one radian into degrees, you have to multiply with 1 into, okay, 180 by pi, which is coming to be 57.3 degree almost, right? So radian is a bigger unit because 1 radian equals to 57.3 degree. You may remember that radian is a bigger unit. So moving ahead to the angle measurement, let's try to understand what is the convention behind the angle measurement. Okay, so I'm taking two axes in the plane. One is known as y-axis, another is known as x-axis. We popularly say them Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, Cartesian coordinate system. Now we want to discuss that how to measure angle by the so-called by the convention. Okay, by we can say that by the standard rules. Okay, so what is the ruling and how do we measure angle whenever we say that angle is 30 degree, 45 degree or whatever? How do we measure angle? Let's try to understand the conventional way. So what you have to do, you have to understand this one is origin and draw a line from origin towards positive x-axis like this. This is your reference line. Now what you have to do, take another line from origin like this, okay, and you have to rotate this yellow line in anti-clockwise sense like this. Clear? So now I must say that this is the angle between yellow line and this aqua color line. Okay, so let's say it is 30 degree. So I must say that this angle is 30 degree, and the rule behind the rule we have followed, or the convention we have followed here, is I have to take in anti-clockwise sense the angle, and that angle will be called as positive one. Okay, not negative one. So if I move this yellow color line and we keep moving this yellow color line, let's say that this yellow color line reached here, then the angle becomes this, which becomes basically greater than 90. You can see it is greater than 90, and you can say theta becomes greater than 90, which we call it as obtuse angle. When we move this yellow line to this quadrant, I will say that this angle now becomes greater than 180 degree. Okay, so if you keep increasing this one to this quadrant, now you can say that this angle is greater than 270 degree like this. So you must understand that if you keep rotating this yellow line, one rotation, then next rotation, then next rotation, the angle keeps increasing. Like if you are rotating this yellow line like this, this is the yellow line, and this is the yellow line, and you are rotating this yellow line from aqua color in anti-clockwise sense like this, one rotation, and this, and you reached here. Okay, like this, one rotation like this. So now your yellow line is here, and I must say that the angle forming here is basically one rotation will give you 360 degree plus 90 degree. So the angle here is 360 degree plus 90 degree, which is 450 degree. Okay, so now you have to understand that if you keep rotating this yellow line, your angle will keep increasing. Okay, fine, it's cool. So moving ahead, if what will happen if you rotate this yellow line in the clockwise sense like this from this aqua. Okay, so since now you are rotating with this line in a clockwise sense, whatever be this angle, let's say theta is equals to 30, this will be considered as negative angle. Okay, so when you move this line, the yellow line, in a clockwise sense, your angle becomes negative. So if you keep rotating this yellow line in a clockwise sense, whatever be the angle you obtained will be a negative one. I've fully understood. Okay, that's good. Now let's start talking about trigonometry. So trigonometry is all about measurement of angle in a right angle triangle. Let's say we have a right angle triangle like this. Cool. So we have a right angle triangle, and then I'm saying, let's say this is some angle theta, and I'll say that this is perpendicular. These two are perpendicular lines, so you can say one as perpendicular, another as base. Okay, and this one is hypotenuse. Okay, hypotenuse. You must know. So in trigonometry, we define 6 trigonometric ratios. These are ratios. Okay, these are well-defined ratios. Okay, which you have to be aware of and you have to remember them. So what is sine theta? The first ratio, sine theta, or called sine, sine, sine theta. Okay, so this is defined as the perpendicular upon base. You may say that the side opposite to the angle theta divided by adjacent side, other than divided by hypotenuse. Also, sorry for the mistake, it is not p by b, it is p by h. Okay, so this is p by h. Now what about cos theta? So how do we define cos theta? It is b upon h. So adjacent side of theta divided by hypotenuse. Then we define tan theta, also known as tangent theta. Cos theta is also known as cosine theta. So tan theta is basically p upon b. So it is opposite upon adjacent. Similarly, we define sec theta. Sec theta, that is also known as secant theta. So sec theta is reciprocal of cos theta. So you may say that it is h upon b. Then cosecant theta, which is also known as cosec theta, which is reciprocal of sine theta. So it will be h upon p. And then cot theta, which is cotangent theta, which is reciprocal of cot 1. So it will be b upon p. So or you can say 1 by tan theta. So these are 6 trigonometric ratios which you have to be aware of, and you must understand that while defining sine theta, I have used p, the perpendicular, which is opposite to the angle theta, right? So if I'm using, let's say, if I'm saying this is angle phi, and let's define tan phi. So I must go for the opposite side, which is this one. Now it becomes b. Then adjacent side, then it becomes p. Okay, hopefully you understood all the other trigonometric ratios. Okay, very important. Now let's talk about standard angles. What are the standard angles? Basically, while defining standard angles, we usually say that whatever required, whatever be the by default situation in JE or NEET physics. Okay, so or any other exam physics where calculator is not allowed. So what are the standard angles which you have to be aware of? Okay, so if even the question does not describe these angles value, you have to remember them. There is no choice of not remembering them. Obviously there is trigonometric table from where you can get the value of all the angles you want, but in some of the examinations, basically in India, we are having examination like NEET, JEE, where we consider that student must know some values of some standard angles. And what are these? 0 degree, fine, 30 degree, then 45 degree, then 60 degree, 90 degree. Apart from that, let's say 180 degree, and let's say 270 degree, and let's say 360 degree. So you may skip 360 degree, 270 degree, fine. So if I'm saying that this one is sine, this is cos, and this is tan, I think if we define sine, cos, tan, you can go for the cosec, sec, and the cot, right? So let's define for sine 0 degree, it is 0, sine 30 is 1 by 2, sine 45 is 1 by root 2, sine 60 is root 3 by 2, sine 90 is 1, sine 180 is 0, sine 270 is minus 1. Cool. Cos 0 is 1, you just cos 0 is 1, cos 30 is root 3 by 2, cos 45 is 1 by root 2, cos 60 is 1 by 2, cos 90 is 0, cos 180 is minus 1, and this one is 0. So what about tan 0? Tan 0 is 0. Now divide them. Sine by cos is also known as tan. Sine by cos is also known as tan. So divide this one. You get 1 by root 3. 1 root 3. You can say undefine. Then 0. And then undefine again. Okay. So apart from this, there are two more angles which you have to be aware of. That is 37 degree and 53 degree. So for this one, you have to remember this right angle triangle. Let's say this is 37 degree, and automatically this becomes 53 degree. So side opposite to the smaller angle will be smaller. So let's say 37 degree corresponds opposite, the side opposite to the 37 degree is 3, then opposite to 53 degree, I'm saying it is 4, and then it is 5. Accordingly, that's side opposite to the smaller angle will be a smaller one. Okay, so from this triangle you can get sine 37, sine 53, tan 53, cot 53, whatever. So remember this triangle as well. Okay, that's it. Good. Now let's try to enlist all the trigonometric formulas which are very important while solving the questions or understanding physics. Okay, so let's start with identities. Very important. Sine square theta plus cos square theta is equals to 1. Next is 1 plus tan square theta is equals to sec square theta. These are all elementary mathematics which we learn in class 10, 9, etc. So you must be aware of all of these and have to be remembered. Okay, so next is third one, 1 plus cot square theta is equals to cosec square theta. Next is, so all these three. Then next category, reduction formula. So let's say it is number 1 sine, okay, n pi by 2 plus minus theta. So I will say it is equals to cos theta if n is odd, and sine will be according to the angle lying in which quadrant. Okay, there are 4 quadrants, one, this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, and we say that in quadrant 1 all the trigonometric ratios are positive. In this one only sine and cosec, in this one tan and cot, and in this one we have cos and sec. Okay, so if this angle is lying in quadrant 1, we can say that since sine in the quadrant 1 is positive, it will be positive. So if this angle is lying in the second quadrant, you can say that sine is positive in second quadrant, so it is positive. If this angle is lying in a third quadrant, so you can say that since sine is negative in the third quadrant, you must say there must be negative in the box. Okay, and similarly, if this angle is lying in the fourth quadrant, you must say that sine is negative in the fourth quadrant, so you must put minus here, and accordingly. Okay, similarly we have other formulas. Number 2 cos n pi by 2 plus minus theta equals to sine according to the quadrant decided by the angle, and then it is sine theta if n is odd. What happens if n is even? What happens when n is even? This becomes sine will be according to the angle decided in which quadrant we are lying, and okay, so as I discussed here, and this becomes remains same, sine theta. And similarly here, if n is even, this becomes cos theta if n is even. And similarly we have third one, tan n pi by 2 plus minus theta, it is then sine accordingly cot theta if n is odd, and remains tan theta if n is even. Okay, and sine will be accordingly. And similarly we have you can say cot n pi by 2 plus minus theta, this will be converted to tan if odd, and cot remains if even. Okay, and similarly we have sec n pi by 2 plus minus theta to get cosec theta with a sign if odd, and this is remains same sec theta if even, and sign accordingly. And similarly for cosec, this becomes okay sec theta if odd, and sign accordingly, and cosec theta will remain if even, again sign accordingly. And the seventh is sine is minus theta, then it is minus sine theta, and eighth cos is minus theta, then it is cos theta, and ninth, tan is minus theta, it is minus tan theta. Okay, let's take some example. Okay, so if I'm saying that you have to calculate sine 120 degree or sec 120 degree or tan 135 degree. So you may use the reduction formula in two ways. Like for sine 120 degree, you can write down, how will you write down? 90 plus 30 degree. So since we are looking at it is odd multiple of pi by 2, 90 degree, okay, so it will convert it to sine will convert it to cos 30 degree. It is basically what? Sine 1 pi by 2 plus pi by 6. Okay, hopefully you understood. So it is cos pi by 6. Okay, now 120 degree is in second quadrant and sine is positive in second quadrant, so I will put a sign plus here. So cos 30 is root 3 by 2, must be aware. Similarly, sec 120, I will say that sec 90 plus 30, again odd, so it becomes cosec 30, and the angle is in second quadrant and sec is negative in that, so minus. Now it is minus 2. Now tan 135, tan 90 plus 45, so it is cot 45, and since it is in the second quadrant, tan is negative, minus, and cot 45 is 1. This I can do. What are the other formulas? What are the other formulas? Like next, sine a plus b, where a and b are angles. Sine a cos b, cos a sine b. Next, sine a minus b, it is sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. Third, cos a plus b, cos a cos b minus sine a sine b. Both cos a minus b, cos a cos b plus sine a sine b. These are the minimum number of formulas which you have to remember. Okay, so other, like fifth, if a equals to b equals to theta, what becomes first formula? Sine 2 theta becomes 2 sine theta cos theta. Similarly, in the third formula, cos 2 theta become cos square theta minus sine square theta. Okay, which can be written as 2 cos square theta minus 1 and 1 minus 2 sine square theta. I hope you understand. Okay, so let's talk about approximation in the angles. So if I'm saying it is sine theta and theta is sine theta becomes theta if theta is in radian, and value of theta in degree is less than, in degree, first you have to convert into degree, is less than 10 degree for safe, or up to 30 degree it's okay. Okay, similarly it is approximated value and theta must be written in radian here. This must be in radian, Example, if I am saying that we have sine 2 degree, what will be its value? So first I am looking that 2 degree is less than 30 degree or 10 degree, so I must say the approximation is valid. So I don't have to write a 2 here, but you have to write in radian. So 2 into pi by 180, which is pi by 90. Okay, this one is correct, not this. Okay, remember this. Similarly, cos theta, if theta is less than 10 degree, that become approximately 1. Tan theta, if less than 10 degree or 30 degree, up to 30 degree, it becomes theta. Okay, remember this. Last one, let's say okay, speaking, so that's it for trigonometry, and this will be enough to solve any question which will come in physics regarding trigonometry. That's it.